cherry treasures, delightful dim sum, and some nostalgia in Niles. The San Francisco East Bay has these surprising getaways and more. Hi, I'm Peter, and this is Destination Dining, your source for alluring, authentic, and affordable experiences. It's Memorial Day weekend, and there's no better time than now to head for the orchards in the San Francisco East Bay. Today we start at G&S Farms in Brentwood, foraging for some of that crimson crop this region is known for. Then as we start heading back to home base, we'll find out what's brewing in Dublin. And no, it's not Guinness. Then we'll saunter down memory lane to the land of Charlie Chaplin, historic Niles Canyon in Fremont. Today we are at G&S Farms. They have 3 locations. The one we chose is 2490 Sellers Road. Okay, so we're at the check-in area of G&S Farms. All you need to do is sign an e-waiver for a limit of liability. Basically scan a QR code, get your 2 bags, and we're off and running. So let's get started. So it is Memorial Day weekend, and this is peak cherry picking season here in the East Bay of San Francisco, in the town of Brentwood. This is just a view of the farms here, and they have 2 types of cherries at this particular location. Coral cherries, which are dark and super sweet, and they're going to be off here to the left as you're walking into the farm. And the ones that are most sweet. And the Rainier cherries, the other variety they have, are further back, and there are only a couple of rows of those. Those are a little bit more tart and sweet. And they're a little more yellowish and orange in color. So we're going to go back and explore a little bit and not be too impetuous and grab the first that we see, but definitely taste as you go through and look at something you might want to start picking. Taste it first, and I'll give you an idea if it's ready. Okay. Look what I found. Actually, look what my wife found. It's a really nice one. So we're gonna just go in here, and I think as you go deeper in, it looks even better. Wow. Look at those. Okay, let's see how that one tastes. Not as sweet, definitely a little more tart. We just got a clarification that one I just tried was indeed a coral, just not very ripe. Yeah, we found a bunch. Okay, I will have to reach that one with a little extra. Let's see, let's get in here close. Yeah, look at that. Those are beautiful colors. Oh, nice. Let's take a look. What Selena found? Right there. Oh, beautiful. Let's check it out. That's a coral. And it's still a little tart, not fully ripe. We're gonna keep exploring. Bingo! That's what they're supposed to look like. That color. Right there. Let's try one of these. Now this is a fully ripe coral. Okay, hold on.
No, she's not.
Oh, she's right. Now that is a fully ripe coral. Perfect. So the Rainier section was all picked out. We don't see anything else on the trees here. So I'm glad we focused on the corals first and got 2 full bags of really ripe, plump, sweet, deep burgundy coral cherries at $4 a pound. And even though that's close to Costco price, come on, this is a lot more fun than going to Costco. And you get a little exercise too if you climb the trees or climb the ladder, carry the ladder around to get to the best fruit at the top. Okay, so we did climb and pick some more, and we probably did overbuy. And I'm guessing right now we're between 8 and 10 pounds. So a little over our expectation, but hey, some to bring into the office, share with friends. Gotta eat these within a couple of weeks because that's when they're fresh. Okay, let's check it out and see how much it actually is. And of course, Selena can't help herself but continue to look and pick on the way. And I can tell you right now, we're at least at 10 pounds. And we're probably, oh, okay, I'm betting 10, Selena's betting 15. We love to bet on these kinds of things. What's your wager? How much? $5. $5? Yeah. It's only $4 a pound. I guess I can afford that. Okay, so here's the weigh-in.
Do you want me to weigh them separately or just together?
Together, let's see. Is there a discount for cash?
What was that?
Is there a discount for cash?
Not a discount, but if you pay card, there's a 3% processing.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's going to be $44.25.
How many pounds?
You have a little over 11.
Ah.
I'm a champion, hear me roar. I found my way, I've opened the door.
We're done for now at G&S Farms. Hope you enjoyed our cherry picking. We're going to be off for a Cantonese lunch shortly. Hi everyone, we're in Dublin to enjoy some Cantonese cuisine, a dim sum lunch at the Mayflower restaurant, which in Chinese, and I'm sure I'm going to butcher this, is Wu Wei Hua. So we are going to go inside and check on our reservation. We arrived at 11:15 a.m. and there was already a 20-minute wait. As I take you on a tour of the restaurant, let's talk about Cantonese cuisine, my favorite in all of China's vast culinary landscape. What makes it so special? Well, it's less about heavy spices and more about fresh ingredients, including lots of seafood, delicate flavors, and cooking methods that bring out the natural taste of the food. Think steaming, stir-frying, and roasting. And dim sum? Well, it's basically a Chinese brunch, a delicious combination of small bite-sized plates and family-sized servings. First up, a timeless dim sum classic, shrimp dumplings, or Har Gao, as spoken in Cantonese, the dialect in parts of southern China like Hong Kong. Elsewhere in Mandarin Chinese, it's called xiajiao. Look at that translucent, delicate wrapper, almost shimmering, and inside is a perfectly plump, succulent shrimp, definitely among the largest I've had with this dish. And we're dipping that in a classic tangy red vinegar, pure bliss. Next, beef chow fun with supreme soy sauce, one of my wife's favorites. These are wonderfully wide, flat rice noodles, perfect for soaking up flavor. Tender slices of beef, stir-fried, and soy with sprouts and onions, but the residual juices from the beef shine right through. A very tasting and satisfying meal. Then we move on to something truly unique, roasted squab. Yes, this is essentially young pigeon, but don't let that scare you. It is a delicacy. Observe that incredible, crispy, golden brown skin. Beneath there's a hint of delicious fat that melts and adds so much flavor. The meat itself is dark and tender like a game bird, and served with two essential dips, a savory salt-like powder and a traditional soy-based sauce. And finally, my favorite, a textural masterpiece, fried Chinese flour crisp wrapped in rice noodle roll. I know that's a mouthful, but in Chinese it's called liǎng. And the bill. $71 before the tip, so we're still under $100. And we did order a couple of premium dishes here for the entrees, the pigeon and the beef chow fun. And if you look at that, we have a dinner size leftover of the beef chow fun. So great value for the money. They did take the liǎng off the bill because it was soft and it should not have been. And that was a very nice gesture. So there you have it. Now for a trip back in time right here in the East Bay. This is Niles, a charming little district of Fremont nestled in a picturesque canyon of California. Appropriately, our first stop sets the tone for a little nostalgia. This is the historic Niles Depot, an old railway station. It's now a museum and a great spot to start, giving you a sense of the past, but as important, ample parking. As you stroll through downtown Niles, you can't help but to feel like you've stepped onto a movie set, with prominent reminders of the silver screen legend who put this place on the Hollywood map. Niles Boulevard is lined with quaint antique stores, the most unique of which is Time for Tea, spelled T-Y-M-E. It's an antique tea shop that also serves Victorian-style afternoon tea and is considered one of the top tea houses on the West Coast. As you stroll down Niles Boulevard, you'll also see some beautifully preserved antique cars and even an old fire truck. But the main event for our visit to Niles is right here, the S&A Silent Film Museum. It's like a window through time, giving us a behind-the-scenes look at the early days of American cinema. Niles played a key role in the early American film industry. S&A Studios was one of the first major studios of its time and produced some of the most iconic films of the silent era. 5 Charlie Chaplin films were made here, including The Gold Rush and his timeless classic, The Tramp. Now let's take a look inside the original Edison Theater with some brief words from our tour guide.
Theater. It was built in 1913. At that time, the S&A Film Studio was just down the block, so movies were big in Niles. Charlie Chaplin, when he was here in 1915, actually filmed 5 movies here, and he viewed some of them here in this theater. So in one of these seats, Charlie Chaplin sat, which is very cool. So it was a theater for some time, and then in the 30s, they built this big, beautiful theater just next door here. So that made this theater obsolete.
This theater is still used today for screenings, bringing the magic of these early films to new generations. For any film enthusiast, Hollywood's original projection rooms are truly a special place. Again, let's turn it over to our tour guide for a few more insights.
The one thing you'll notice, top to bottom in this room, we are covered in tin. The reason being is that back then, film was made of nitrate film. And if nitrate film caught on fire, which it did easily, even
Very
underwater,
flammable.
yes, it would burn even underwater. It doesn't need oxygen, unbelievable.
Just put it inside.
You
right?
put it inside,
Okay.
yep, and it would go right through here, and then this,
Just a roll
it would roll, yep, and
Yeah,
so
like
the
this
projector
one.
would twist that.
Oh, do it manually.
Manually, yes.
Oh, I
So
see.
you had to keep time. Being a projector in those days was very hard.
How amazing was that? Well, if you're ever in this part of the East Bay or just a local cinephile, I would definitely recommend a visit to Niles Canyon. It's a truly unique blend of California history, small-town charm, and a surprisingly significant slice of Hollywood's early beginnings. So that wraps up today's episode. I hope you enjoyed our perfect day in the San Francisco East Bay. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us again. See you next time on Mr. Foodie's Destination Dining.